This video is sponsored by G-Portal. Stick around to the end for more on that.
Hey everyone, my name is Ned and welcome to this video where I'm going to be updating you on the Survival Stories project. Here is the development update on part 3 where I'm going to share with you the release date for it, when you can expect to see it come out, how development's been going, and just some of the little details going on there, because there's a lot to share and I don't want to spoil too much, but it is the amount of work and the good quality work that is going into this is just, it never fails to amaze and impress me. So without further ado, let's talk about it. We're going to start with the graduate students. So as you may know, if you've played on Aberration, you've probably seen those backpacks laying around, and those are from the grad students like Rusty, Trent, Boris, Imamu, and Amelia, and of course Sky, which has one note, which we'll of course be sharing. All of them are going to be in part 3, as well as finishing up Helena and Rockwell's notes. And a cheeky little Santiago note 1 in there. So just to give you sort of the idea of the scope of the character and the I guess the cast, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people in part 3, more than we've ever had in any survival story as far as diversity of different people goes. We've never had this many, and that is very exciting for me as producer, director. It's just fun to work with so many different personalities, so many different voices, and different actors. I've had a lot of this voiceover for a long time now, particularly most of the graduate students been holding on to it for like over a year. So it's really nice to finally get to use it, and furthermore to be working with the kinds of audio specialists, plural, that I will be for part 3, that are just going to make it sound amazing. So cannot wait for that. As far as development stuff goes for the graduate students, we have these unique backpacks that they can wear. So each graduate student in game has a backpack. That's how you like find their notes. And in game, they actually wear these backpacks. We made a mod, or it's part of Noodle Pack that Golden made. So we've got those. We've got these notes that they will sort of periodically hold, just little details like that, unique clothing, so each of them sort of is pretty recognizable apart from each other. And this was something early on we knew we wanted to do, just to make them that much more sort of distinguishable and unique, because that's kind of what we try and do with Helena, Rockwell, Santiago, Megan, all of the other main characters, and these were sort of a special case, the grad students, which, by the way, many people sort of may assume that these are young people, but grad school is not for young people generally. Depends how you define young, but we're talking more the age range of later 20s to 30s, 40s, and upwards. So by no means are these kids. They're probably 25 on average and up. But aside from the graduate students, what else do we have? Well, we've got the tier, what I guess I'd call tier 6 of the tech city. And you guys may have seen this in many different iterations throughout part 1 and 2. The city is something that I especially, and Ness, the one who built pretty much all the structures in it, that I later converted to static meshes for various uses. The city's had a lot of care put into it because so much of the notes take place there. Rockwell, Helena, Diana, and Megan all have a lot of stuff going on there. And so there had to be a lot of care put into it. And so part 3 is going to show the final tier that we're making for the city, which is a just completely, in this tier 6, the city's forgotten about. It's many, potentially decades or even centuries after something, which, I mean, you can read the notes. It feels weird saying I can spoil it, but something happens to where the people don't live there anymore, and it's really this sort of ruined version, very empty, and this is where the graduate students, some of them visit. So can't wait for that to be there. I don't know why I really like building environments that sort of change over time. It's really fun for me. But aside from that, we've got some other pretty major stuff that I think there's going to be one particular scene or maybe series of sequences that are probably going to be the most loved, that don't include any of this, and they involve Rockwell, because we're not done with Rockwell. Not to spoil too much, but we're creating an entire model, V, I guess I'd call him V. We just call him V. It's sort of spelled out virus, I think with letters and numbers. But V has created some amazing stuff, and for part 3, it's still hard to grapple with just the sort of I guess you could say the quality that we're getting into at this point. And so I'm gonna share 2 pictures with you. So we've got, this is what V calls the meatball, and it's really this sort of transition of Rockwell between the part 2 and what we see in game on Aberration. That's kind of a common theme that I've been talking about within part 3 is transitioning and acting as a way to bridge the story of Aberration with the gameplay, so that you as players can better understand it as it relates to you, survivors. And so he's going to be fully animated. This is the most complex scene we've ever done. This is not just part 2 where Rockwell sort of pops up and he's like, I'm scary, and then that's it. This is about 20 times more than that as far as length. I forgot to mention, but this Rockwell is also heavily inspired by concept art, such as this one done by Sebastian Koval. But honestly, V kind of just did his own take on Rockwell here, and it's something so new and fresh and horrifying, and he's just doing some really great work here. So if you want to follow him on Twitter and keep up with what he's doing after we finish part 3, here is that. So it's an area we haven't worked in yet as a team, and I'm really looking forward to the challenges, but also to the results that are going to come from it. So in addition to Rockwell and his model, we're going to have an entire arena for some reason, you can probably guess, but don't want to get too into it. We're just, there's so much to this, and it's going to be sweet when you guys can finally see what we're all excited about. Now, beyond Rockwell, there is also some quite a lot of work going into this Ascension part, because and it's sort of, I feel like I've almost subconsciously been building up to it with the various parts, because the intro music to part 1 and 2 is that beginning to the Ascension theme for Aberration. And it's, from what I can tell, a real fan favorite of Gareth Coker's work. The theme that plays when you ascend, when you beat Rockwell. And finally, we're going to be able to play that whole theme, in part 3, whatever it may mean. It's something that is also going to have so much care put into it. Probably not as much as Rockwell's fight, simply because it doesn't require as much, because it's not as complex. Definitely a lot of particles and static meshes and maybe some skeletal mesh stuff. We'll see. But yeah, the Ascension I'm very excited about, and it's along the lines of these map extensions that I've been working on for so much of everything that at least my part has been, beyond the producing, directing, editing, all that stuff. It's adding the city and adding the different tiers of the city and adding the portal and its different components back and polishing them up and all of this. And so definitely look forward to that. Beyond all of those main things, there are little Easter eggs, perhaps involving a character named Sky, which will be voiced by the lovely Raz Clark. And you can already see you can listen to his note in game with the Explore Notes Plus mod, which I'll link in the description if you want to have the notes of ARK read to you. Most of them are functional in that sense. I just haven't got to Extinction or Gen 1 and Gen 2. Mainly with just Gen 1 has all the notes voiced, but regardless, little Easter eggs you're going to find in part 3. This sort of ARK Park knockoff, scary ARK Park fever dream, which you're going to see at the beginning. And yeah, so that is all to say we've been working on a lot of stuff, and by no means is it going to take as long as part 2 or 1. I've been anticipating that it'll take a little less time than part 2, which is to say, I think 3 months? Yeah, about 3 months from when we started working on it. Maybe, I don't even remember, but the release date, right? If you're wondering, there's no crazy big reveal, but we'll be releasing in June, probably mid-June, public release, and then as far as actual release, just the very initial launch or release of the video of part 3 is going to be June 2nd. That's sort of the plan. At least if we can. I'm not going to crunch it like I did with part 2. If I still want to put some extra detail on it, it'll be June 9th, and the trailer will come out June 2nd. But that's the time scale we're looking at, and until then, my plan and what I've been doing is putting out these shorts, working with the lovely Stell and Trigger Pug, who have helped a lot with the pipeline to get out shorts for you guys, if you've noticed those, and just little random lore shorts just to keep the channel at least a little bit active. And then, definitely working on sort of balancing out the work on the survival stories so I can still upload at least once a week, sort of a full video like this, or even more complex little videos. That's the idea. But y'all be in the summer soon, in about 2 weeks, so definitely gonna get some more time back to work more on content. But that is what's up. Just to inform all of you, thank you for enjoying the survival stories, or I'm glad you do. If you do, unless you don't, which in that case, respect that. But if you do, thank you for appreciating our work, and thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for June, of course, and I'll be posting more stuff and things leading up to that, and of course the trailer, which putting a lot of extra work into, mainly just for the learning experience, because making trailers themselves are, it's sort of like its own craft, its own art almost, and so. Yeah, but hold on. Before I go, I need to talk a little bit about Gportal, the sponsor for this video and of my channel. Gportal is an ARK server provider. They also provide for multiple other survival games. And, I've used a lot of server providers in the past, and they just have they've genuinely never reached sort of the quality and the customer service response, and just the upkeep, just everything that Gportal does. They weirdly even go as far as to make these like tutorials for really niche and specific things, and I'm just like, you know what, go you. That's very nice. So I genuinely do recommend Gportal. Use them for our own server cluster, ARK Journeys Core. And if you're looking for 10% off your own servers today, you can use my code in the description on your next purchase. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know what you think down below about the survival stories, about ARK Survival Ascended, the future of the game. I want to hear it all, so let me know. And thank you all so much. I'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.
The first thing we spotted was a bloody shirt, and then I can't even describe the rest. We're all going to die here.
Yes, I understand now. All of this is by design. This place, he orchestrated it all as a test.
Abandon hope! Do not seek the master! No one could fathom his terrible majesty!
I am not a god. I am more than that. I am everything. This world, this ARK, it is my body.